Hello guys, welcome to GM on the Switch's channel. If this is your first video, and today we're ranking every track in Super Mario Kart, as you could tell by the thumbnail if you know the tracks, or the fact that this is the only classic Mario Kart, the only game before Double Dash that has Koopa Troopa in it. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Also, if you're wondering why I didn't make the part 4 of the Crash Team Racing versus Mario Kart 64 series, this is the views right here. Like, sure, it starts off better than most do, but then it flatlines around, like, literally less than a day. And then this is my average videos performance right here, so, like, goes around to 30 views. So yeah, I'm going to make a couple more ranking videos before that one actually gains steam, so that way, so that way, the part 4 could have a little bit of hype around it or something like that. I'm making it soon. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make it not soon, but it's not gonna be like a year from now. At least I'll hope. Only 0.2 of my subscribers are actually, only 0.2 of my viewers are subscribed to me, so, please, subscribe to me, please. Let's just make this at least, like, 10%, you know? That's something, you make it, like, at least 10%, okay? And if you're viewing me and you're not subscribed, do you see that little, button right down there that says subscribe? Yeah, I want you to click that. Yeah. Anyways, I'm thinking of things to say. Well, I got nothing else to say, so let's just go into the ranking. This game probably has the not greatest track selection out of everyone I've covered so far, so don't expect very in-depth detail with these simplistic track layouts. They're just not my favorite. I foreshadowed this track being last place in my Mario Kart PC video. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's just get this over with really quickly. So first off, these long straightaways. Like, look, like these long straightaways are so boring. Like, there's long straightaways. The 90-degree turns are in something. Hell no, there's just something. This game, 90-degree turns in this game are most of the time alright, but they can border on, sorry, I don't know what the heck that was, pretty frustrating. So, most of the time, so, yeah, this track's, corners border on being frustrating. And they're all the annoying 90-degree corners. So starting off at this section, it's very boring. There's a dead end, which is kind of funny. I mean, you gotta be stupid to fall off here. There's literally an arrow pointing you this way. If you are going in there, you are so stupid. Unless you're taking a feather shortcut, of course. Which that is still annoying in this section, but still. Really boring so far. There's a couple of thwomps, which are executed pretty well, but that's mostly it. And this section right here, these two sections are pretty bad. Really, really bad. So first off, this one is just too tight. Like, it is borderline impossible to take this inside route and get the boost. And if you take this route, it's alright, but it's not very easy. It's the route most people would take, but you still got bumped into a wall eventually. And then there's this split. You can either go down here and have like a 25% chance of getting an item, no guarantees, or you just take this normal annoying sharp corner. This part right here is so freaking annoying. If you are looking for an item, this part is not a good way to get it, because you only have like a 50% chance of getting it when you do go down that route. And then there's a big ass straightaway again. And the straightaway right here. Well, that certainly was a track, but it certainly isn't good. It would have been like a D tier track, except for this one section there, right here, this sector. But anyways, next up, the one on the cover, Vanilla Lake 1. Who would have guessed?
Oh, wow, I want to guess that the track that's on the thumbnail that's foreshadowed of being bad is the second to last place spot.
Yeah, it's, so, from the start, first off, that is the whitest thing you'll ever see on a TV screen. It's definitely a flashbang for people who aren't expecting it. But also, it's a circle. Like, I mean, when you think of it, it can't be that frustrating. I mean, it's just a circle. I mean, they gotta go borderline X Games to mode to make this annoying. Well, the thing is, they did. They did just that. Now, first off, because this is a circle, its turns are not engaging at all. It's just like, 90 degrees, like if they weren't for the bulging walls and ice blocks, which I'll talk about later, this track could be beaten by a 5-year-old. But there's these walls. So first off, there's these walls that bulge in and then like close you in, and then you have to get through these ice blocks, which with the SAS graphics, it's hard to see because that's white, that's white, that's white. Those are walls, and the ground is pretty white too. So you're gonna think, oh, these are just off-road. Well, he navigates right through them, of course, but you bump them and then you have to try to go through them. It's really annoying trying to deal with those. And the worst part is, the first time, you probably don't even notice. This section here is the worst one, because it's even more enclosed, and the ice blocks are even more. There's even more of them. And there's just more unengaging turns, and it's a short track. It's very, it's either boring or frustrating, and that's never a good thing. Well, the other Vanilla Lake. Another circle, which was made frustrating by the devs. How the heck did they do it twice? Twice! Anyways, ignore my crash out. This is kind of like Sherbet Land, where, like, it's ironically enough, it also got third to last place. There's these cracks to hop over. I guess they give you dopamine. They give me dopamine if you hop over. Same on engaging turns. You know, at first I thought this was like, oh, it's a circle like the first one again. And then, thanks to Odysseus, I realized this is like the exact same layout as the first one. Except for the ice blocks are in different positions. You start backwards and there's a big gaping hole in the middle. Those are the only differences. Like, the turns are the same unengaging thing. Like, sure, you maybe hop over the cracks, but then... Look at that. Look at that. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16... Wait, no, I did the math wrong. But, you get the... Wait, 1, 2, 3... What the hell? Yeah, I counted wrong. But that's 15 blocks. Next to 15 blocks. Next to 15 blocks. Right next to each other. With one racer-sized gap in between them that you could fit through. One. It's so annoying, and it does not leave any room for error. At least there's the crack that's easiest to hop over right here. That's nice. And then there's a section where either you have to go off-road or risk falling into the water. You don't really fall into the water here that often, but still, it can happen with this game's pretty bad controls. Now I've heard that this game put ice controls on this track and Vanilla Lake 1, but I never really noticed it. Mainly because of the fact that there are circles, and most of the time it doesn't really affect the race that much. Like, maybe it changes the turns a little bit, I don't know. I just never noticed because this game's controls are already slippery. And there's a jump, and then there's another shitload of the blocks right there. Of like, I mean, it's getting annoying at this point. I mean, I'm at a loss for words because, I mean, there's so many of these ice blocks. But, anyways, yeah, frustrating circle. Most of the time I'd say boring, but it's frustrating this time. Congratulations, Vanilla Lake 1 and 2. At least the second one's better than the first one, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god, can we stop reminding me that school is coming and this is what I'm gonna have to deal with going into school. I live in a state where it legitimately looks like this sometimes, and I'm just like, I'm sick of it. Donut Plains 3. The one that got brought back, jeez, in Mario Kart 8. It was made significantly better. Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons, but what most of it boils down to power controls. Let me honest. Alright, so first off, there's 2 bridges instead of 1 this time. That's nice. One of them has a hole in the center, which you need to hop over. I thought it was frustrating at first, but I got the timing down, so it's not that bad anymore. But the section I'm annoyed about is right here. Right goddamn here. This chicane with roads that can be 1 racer wide at times are so annoying. Like, sure, you're gonna go off road, like, uh-oh, and then you're gonna fall in the water and go like, I mean, I'm not on a table, right? I mean, I'm not on a wood table right now, but you get the point. It is. Like, at that point, you're just gonna crash out. I mean, this section, that specific part right there, is the most annoying part, I think, out of any track in Super Mario Kart. It is so annoying. There's these moles, or the slippery section. The slippery section doesn't do much for me, again. These turns right here are a little challenging, but that's mostly it. It's just this section right here, which brings it down so much, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Boring up to this section. Boring up until this section where it's frustrating. Ghost Valley 3. Contrary to Shea Frillis set, contrary to what Shea Frillis believes, yeah, there is a feather shortcut. It's right here on the track. Yeah. There's a couple of hairpins, you know. There's these big gaping holes, you know. You can take a boost, jump over them. This section's mostly frustrating to get through otherwise. There's a lot of straightaways, which don't really affect the race, which aren't really even that boring because there's so many holes. There's a lot of jumps, and that's cool. I like how when you hit the walls, they fall down, so if you try to hit where that wall was again, you're just gonna fall off. I feel like that's a good way of adding dynamic difficulty. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's as one of the as the third to last track of the game, I guess it earns its spot. And I feel like Bowser Castle 3 should have been here or at the place of Vanilla Lake 2, but I'm not gonna rant for a while. I'm just gonna say this track is pretty frustrating at times. Don't Plains 2. Another squiggly section. This is the only donut plains without bridge. That's kind of a bummer, but do you see Mario? I think he's looking at you. I'm sitting to his side right now, so he's not looking at me. He's looking at you. So, never mind. That's stupid. Okay, never mind. I was just being stupid. Anyways, it's pretty boring. To be honest. Sure, some of the moles are annoying. The moles are pretty funny though. These turns right here are a little difficult. There's a hairpin, but there's 2 large straightaways. So actually, no, there's there's 3 actually. And this one is just extremely long. Yeah, it's pretty boring, and makes it to where, and yeah, it's just boring, and I have nothing to say about this track except for if you look at the track like really closely. I know this is such an outdated meme, but you know, like Among Us, you know that, like the thing that everybody was playing in 2020. If you look really closely at the meme app, it kind of looks like Among Us. Like the visor is right here, and then these are the legs. The only issue with it is that this part goes up a little too high, but that's mostly it. Like, are you seeing it now, or am I just going crazy? Anyways, yeah, I'm talking about Among Us. This is so boring. Jeez. Koopa Beach 2! Yay! The track that got brought back in Mario Kart World. When Koopa Beach 1 and Cheep Cheep Island were right there. But anyways, this track isn't bad. It's just mostly a circle. This part is pretty fun. Where you have to dodge these like little holes in the water. That's really cool. You're driving through water. It's kind of like Mario Kart 64's Koopa Troopa Beach. I feel like that's really cool. But yeah, there's a couple of cool sections, but it's mostly a circle. The issue is it's mostly a circle. The starting line is separated from where you drive past the where the racers start is separated from where they drive past, like Toad's Turnpike. That's something. It's not really something interesting though. Yeah, that's mostly it. It's a circle with one pretty cool part. But this track isn't bad. It's just not much to it. It definitely does not deserve to be in the Special Cup, though. That's one thing I'll say. Anyways, Ghost Valley 2. This track isn't bad. I just don't have much to say about it. It does have 90-degree corners and feather shortcut. That's pretty cool. I like the dynamic difficulty thing I brought up in Ghost Valley 3. And, yeah, that's mostly it. 90-degree corners are cool. It's just that, I'd find myself playing Ghost Valley 1 more often over this. There's a big jump. So that's something, but oh shit, sorry. Google's being a pain in the ass. But yeah. It's cool. It's just not very I just forget about it pretty often. It's just forgettable. The most boring track in the game. Bowser Castle 1. You know what's ironic about this track is that Bowser Castles in the modern games are known to be like the most interesting, the most engaging tracks in the game, with all their obstacles and split roads and lava and like difficulty. This one is there's like a couple of thwomps. The turns are not hard, and you cannot fall off onto the lava unless you're deliberately trying to. And if you're doing that, then I feel like you have other issues. The swamps are executed pretty well in the Bowser Castle tracks, and Rainbow Road, where they show you on the first lap, and then on the second lap they activate and they start slamming down on people. That's something that they can't do in the later games because of how the lap system works. But I feel like that is a very good idea that they did that. I feel like that was very nice, and that was a very nice way to introduce players to the game and to the tracks. Where like, okay, here are the thwomps, here are where they are going to be. Now watch out for them on the next lap. I feel like that's a really I'm sorry, I'm thinking of words. My English isn't working today. It's a very cool way of showing you how the where the thwomps are gonna be. But yeah, there's boost pails on this section, and there's these like little side pockets. Like you see these little side pockets. So essentially, I think the deal is you hit the boost panels. If you're going incorrectly, you're gonna get caught in one of those like side pockets. But I don't do it because I'm not horrible at this game. Also, look at Bowser from that angle. Jeez, he only has he only has 6 teeth. Jeez, poor Bowser. Poor Bowser. Yeah, there's thwomps, and there's these jumps which don't do much, but they're cool. I guess you're hopping over lava. That hairpin is there. That hairpin right there is maybe a little challenging, but most of the time when I'm playing this course, I'm falling asleep. So, yeah, it's the most boring track in the game. Moving on from the most boring track in the game to another one of the most boring tracks in the game, Koopa Beach 1. Poor Koopa Troopa, he couldn't get any good tracks. Then you got Koopa Troopa Beach and Koopa Cape, and they were like, oh yeah, let's not neglect this poor man. And then they still did in the rosters up until Double Dash, which is bullshit, but, like really? Wario over Koopa Troopa is insanity. But, there's a split path for an I'm right here, but if you look really closely, if you look like really closely, you'll notice that it's a circle with a couple of off-road patches. Yeah. There's a split path. That's something that's very uncommon in the game, especially 2 split paths. So I feel like that's something. But being honest, nobody's taking this path, and also this split path doesn't really do much. I'm just saying it's very forgettable. And this track is pretty forgettable and definitely does not deserve to be the first track of the Star Cup of all things. You know what was the first track of the Star Cup wait a second. Fuck. I'm thinking of a good example here. You know what was the first track of the Star Cup in Mario Kart 8? Well, that's Sunshine. Wait, is it Sunshine Airport or Dolphin Shoals? Well, still, they are significantly more difficult than this, and this is worse controls, which is baffling to me because they had to go with simplistic layouts because this game's controls weren't that good. But still, like a circle in the Star Cup. There's 2. It's not even like 1 circle. It's 2. I mean, jeez, Luis, like at least give me some slack. I mean, still, it could have been more challenging, but but driving through the water is pretty cool. It should definitely came in Mario Kart World before Koopa Beach 2, but I can understand why they put in Koopa Beach 2 over this. But still, it's how would I put this? Very boring. I guess you could hop over this section of the deep water, but that's mostly it. Anyways, let's move on to the next track before I literally fall asleep. As this ranking is taking a while out of me. Anyways, Choco Island 2. You know what got took out of this track over the next games it was added in? The quality. It mostly boils down to this one mud pit right here. Because in the later games, it's even more annoying. Like in Super Circuit, it just slows you down a bit. Like it's very annoying. It's annoying that it slows you down, but it's not that much of a slowdown. Most of the annoyance is more on the. Actually, it's two things: the bumps and the mud pit. Sure, it was thin a little too much, so it was a little annoying on that front. But otherwise, that's mostly it. And then there's these bumps, specifically on the turns from this one and this one. In the later games, they send you so far off-road because in Super Circuit, it's too small. In DS, you have no air control. In this game, you have air control and it's big, so. And also, I saw the most turns in the game. That's interesting. This track's case is really sad. It needs to be brought back and made good. Because the fact that the best way to play this track is to play the Super Mario Kart version is just baffling to me. Like, maybe if it was only brought back in Super Circuit, you can understand. It would be, like, maybe a little bit normal. I mean, Vanilla like 1 is better on Super Circuit, is better on this SNES. But to be brought back in DS2 and still be better on the original, like, it's not even a Double Dash track. It is a Super Mario Kart track. It couldn't have been that hard to bring back, and they still messed it up. Anyways, yeah, Nintendo, if you're listening, for Mario Kart 10, make a good version of this track, please. Anyways, next game. I'm in track. Dang it. Yeah. Yes, the star track. You never start out with your best track. As Star Musty would say. You never start with your best track. Okay, so, there's pipes. There's pipes a couple on the track. It's not very damaging to bump into them, but they're there. And then there's a big off-road shortcut. That's all this track brings to the table, and it's still more engaging than Bowser Castle 1. But anyway, because the turns are a little more fun. Yeah. The starter course, it's not very engaging, but yeah, it's cool. It's a cool starter course. It introduces this game well. Anyways, Choco Island 1. I have this theory that if wait, never mind, I won't bring it, but this track is alright. I think it should probably be brought back, considering that it's one of the better tracks in the game. There's a lot of chicanes that this track, the Choco Islands have the harshest off-road in the entire game. So this track decides to introduce you to that with a bunch of chicanes being like, hey, yo, on these tracks, you don't want to go off-road. And I feel like that's a pretty good way of introducing it. I mean, showing a lot of hard turns, so showing you they're like, yo, don't go off-road, just don't. I feel like that's a really good way to do it, but yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just not well spoken because I don't know. This track has this and Choco Island 2 also had the worst music in the game, and that's really, I mean, of the tracks at least. It's just forgettable. And no, I think Ghost Valley is actually worse, but you get the point. I've already described this. A lot of these tracks are forgettable, and this lives up to this standard. It's not bad. It's just kind of boring. The off-road's pretty harsh, though. When I was losing at this track when I first started playing the game, I was like, huh, what? I wonder why. I never knew it was the off-road. Of all things, the off-road was harsher. But I think it's also in part to the fact that I played Luigi. Yeah, don't play Luigi, play Koopa Troopa. I'm sorry. Koopa Troopa and Toad are like the two characters in the game that have good handling. So, yeah. Okay, the plagiarist of Mario Circuit 1, Mario Circuit 4. Just flip this track and you realize that their layouts are nearly identical. Like, I am not kidding. The shortcut, the off-road shortcut with the gap in the wall is literally at the exact same spot. It is. That is so embarrassing. But anyways, they added a couple of pipes, and there's this hairpin turn, which is the same, kind of similar to Mario Circuit 3, but even though it's sharper, it's less hard for some reason. I have no idea how that's possible, but yeah, there's a section of 4 pipes somewhere around here, which blocks the path pretty well, but that's mostly it. Yeah. It probably would have been about Mario Circuit 3, but plagiarism docks it a little bit, and also, I just like Mario Circuit 3 slightly better in general, so. Yes, the most brought back track in the series, Mario Circuit 3. Mamma mia. Why is it brought back the most? So first off, this is based off a racetrack in Spain called Circuito de Jerez. I'm sorry to all my Spanish viewers. I'm pretty sure you don't exist, looking at my statistics. But if you do, I am sorry if I mispronounced that. Essentially, yeah, I think this track was inspired over it. There's this hairpin turn, which is really hard, and then there's the pipes right here, where it's just like, which is just a big screw you. Like, if you go off road, those pipes are a big screw you. Also, this was the first track design made for Super Mario Kart, so I'm pretty sure that's why it's got brought back so much. Yeah. Yeah, so, I'm losing, I don't know. It has a lot of engaging turns, like Mario Circuit 4. See? Look, I told you the shortcut's in the same place. I told you. It's even the same type of shortcut. But, anyways, yeah. A lot of engaging turns, and it's definitely overhated. Oh yeah, there's also a boost panel near the end. I forgot to bring that up. If you look right there, that's a boost panel. I forgot to bring that up. Donut Plains 1. We're starting out the top 5 pretty alright, I guess. There's a bridge. This bridge is pretty cool. Even though it is walled off so you can't fall off. That's a little bit of a bummer, but not that bad of a bummer. There's a couple of straightaways, but these hairpins aren't difficult, but they are fun. They're definitely fun. The turns are just fun. It is a little bit of a boring aesthetic, but it's just fun, man. I don't know. It's just fun. Especially for the Mushroom Cup, it's pretty high. There is one track in the Mushroom Cup, 2 tracks actually, that outrank it. But it's still pretty good, you know? Hey, Mom.
What, buddy?
Just filming a vid.
Huh?
Just filming a video.
Oh, I need to do my workout.
Okay. I kind of just record it while you're doing the workout.
Well, it's gonna be in the background.
As long as it's not that loud, it's fine.
Well, I have to be able to hear it over there. So.
Oh, I'll move.
It's only gonna be recognized that you can have down here.
Okay. I'll just move.
Sorry.
It's alright. I'm so sorry, guys. I was just talking with my mom real quick. But anyways, yeah. This track's turns are just pretty engaging, and also there's a bridge, which is one of the few landmarks out of every track in the game. That's something, and something I'm always looking for in these tracks. Anyways, another track in the Mushroom Cup, Ghost Valley 1. This used to be my favorite track in the game. Probably because I hadn't played any of the other tracks. But yeah. The turns are pretty engaging. These 90 degrees aren't that bad. This is a little chicane right here. It's a little chicanerous. There's quite a bit of jumps, which I like. You can hop over these ramps to get an item. That's very creative. There's a fair shortcut right here, or right here on the mini-map. You could take it with the feather and beat, like, you know, the normal way. Or if you are if you're really good at timing it, you could take a mushroom like a little bit before this jump to where you're at full speed with the mushroom, and then you jump and then you go all the way over here. Like, here, look. You go like, you take the boost and you go like boom, and you go right there. It's super cool and it's fun to do. Otherwise, you go around. It's a couple of normal turns, but otherwise, it's yeah, pretty fun. You know, just a fun track, especially for this early on. Definitely quite a bit of turns. Bowser Castle 3. Well, the one Bowser Castle in this game that's actually good. That is sad. But anyways, yeah, what does this track do correct? So there's a couple of jumps. There is quite a little bit of leg room right there. I don't know why they add that. First off, there's a split path right there. It's like a choose your own adventure. There are so many jumps. You could go like anywhere you want. And there's 3 ways to do it. You either do it tight, like kind of intermediate-ish, and then really wide. And I like that. You could choose it. Like you could, and since items are blocked, you can't get an item from the same block every lap. You are pretty much forced to do a different route unless you don't want an item. I mean, isn't that pretty cool? I don't know. It's pretty cool dynamic difficulty. There's a boost pad. I love boost pads. If you take that like tight. And there's also thwomps. I love thwomps. Except for when they like block out the entire path. That's a little annoying, but that's mostly it. And then there's another split path. That's pretty rare. There's a boost panel right here. There's you're gonna need to jump over these ramps to get that item, or you could just take a boring straightaway. Or if you're playing as Bowser, you could just use the first jump to get the item. Wow. But anyways, yeah, really cool. It has a really nice aesthetic. It has some of the best music in the game. I love the Bowser Castle theme in this game. I know it's from Mario World, but it doesn't matter. It's so cool with these straightaways. Even though there is a little too much straightaway, I still enjoy this track a lot. Second place, pretty fitting. A 2 with Mario Circuit 2. Now this track would be pretty good. Still be in the top 5 with its layout. You know, these turns are engaging. You know, there's a hairpin right here, and then there's like, and then you know, like, I'll go with you because a lot of people say this is the best in the game. I can understand that. I had a phase where it was, but there's one track in first. I'm pretty sure you could guess at this point that I felt like deserved it more. So first off, it has a lot. First off, you're going through these turns, you know, a lot of 90 degrees. That's something we always like. There's a little chicane, you know. You see that, and you're wondering, like, what's that gonna do? You hairpin, and you're like, huh, what does that do? And then you jump over a previous part of the track. I love this part, especially if you place a banana, like, somewhere around here. You can make CPU fail to jump, and then they're just gonna keep failing and failing and failing and failing. It's so funny. Also, there's a little ramp right there. So if you take the jump correctly, you could jump off that ramp, and then take a little shortcut over here. Like instead of going right here, you could do this, and that's cool. I like that. It's pretty it's very engaging track, you know, lots of good turns. And the fact is that even if there wasn't this jump over a previous part of the track, it would still be pretty high, but that jump boosts it pretty well. Mamango. Yes. I mean, who would have guessed this? Also, this is my video. Watch it. Rainbow Road. It's called a road. It's called a Rainbow Road. It is a road where you go. First off, it's the hardest track in the game by like 5 miles. It's so easy to fall off here. Like, there's no railings. It's also the only track that isn't repeated at all through the entire game. There's this split section where there's thwomps. There's rainbow thwomps. Where they slam down, you know, they block the path. This section is a little too thin for my liking, but still amazing. And there's a lot of straightaways. But with the track with so many ways to fall off, straightaways are something you're gonna want. I mean, its turns are really good. Like, 90-degree turns in this game can either be like frustrating or really fun. And this is definitely on the really fun part. This section where it thins and then bulges and then splits is so cool. Especially since if you're playing outside the time trials, you can use a mushroom to boost over this section and just skip the thwomps entirely. Also, as probably the best music in the game, is really good music. It's a really unique aesthetic. Like, I mean, if every track had an aesthetic like this, I'm pretty sure had a different aesthetic and was like this track where there were no repeats, I feel like people would be a little less harsh to this game. But anyways, yeah, it's definitely an amazing track and deserves to be the best in the game. Anyways, that was my video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So yeah, if you are looking to watch any more videos, then watch the other videos on my channel, please. I only have 14 subscribers, and I'm looking to get 20 by the end of 2025. So, anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. So, yeah.